Hello and welcome to this special show on Rajya Sabha Television. I am Vishal Dahiya and here we bring you all the details about India's fight against COVID-19 pandemic. First, it was the lockdown and now it is unlock India phase by phase. We are reopening the public activities one by one, and the guidelines for reopening of activities such as restaurant operations have also been put out in the public domain by the Government of India. Today, we will take a look at how the restaurant sector will be reopened, what are the guidelines, how the sector has coped up with COVID-19 pandemic, and what is the way forward from here. And the guests with us for a discussion on this are, we have Mr. Anurag Katria. He is the president of National Restaurant Association of India, that is NRAI. We also have with us Dr. Sanjay Rai. He is the professor of community medicine with the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Delhi. We also have with us Mr. R.K. Srivastava. He is the former Director General of Health Services with the Government of India. Welcome all of you to Rajya Sabha TV. Let me begin with you, Mr. Srivastava, and let's start by giving our viewers a bit of a lowdown on what the guidelines are. What are the SOPs with reopening restaurant operations from Monday, that is the 8th of June?
Thank you. Thank you for giving the opportunity to share with you the process of unlocking and reaching out to the opening of restaurant from 8th onward. A guideline has been released by the Government of India, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and that guideline is in form of standard operating procedures. It is only an advisory and it has to be considered according to the prevailing situation in the state, the number of cases over there, the number of the containment zone over there, and they have to apply their wisdom to take a call on these type of guidelines so that they can smoothen the opening of the business sector without causing harm to the human life by increasing the transmission of the infection. The high guideline has got two components. First is the generic component. The generic component talks about simple things, and this component emphatically said that those who are at high risk, it means 65 plus, immune compromised, children, pregnant ladies, they better avoid going to the restaurants. This is generic advice. Then there are certain generic advice which deal with the gold standard practices advocated as a public health measure during the period of the COVID. It says that when you go to restaurant, then you should have the standard social distancing, you should practice hand wash, you should have a cough etiquette, you should wear mask, and these are the standard practices which has been advocated time and again from the very beginning of the COVID-19, and they have been little bit tailored to the restaurants so that it incorporates a type of consolidated guidance which are generic in nature to be followed by the restaurant. Then there are certain type of specific instructions, specific standard practices which need to be followed by the restaurant owner, restaurant user, and the functionaries who are involved in cooking, serving, and the waiting space and the air conditioning. Also based on the same principles, the specific things which are related to this area are that they say that better don't sit there, get the food delivered at the home. Second is about the air conditioning. Maintain a range of temperature as recommended by CPWD and the humidity as recommended by the CPWD. The third, it says that those who are waiting, they should wait in a manner which follow all the public health measures for preventing the transmission, and thus those who are serving the food item and delivering it at home should be properly checked that they are not having infection before allowing them to do the job, and this practice should be daily done. And those who are coming to the restaurant, they should be screened, and the standard sanitization practices. Now,
Okay.
having said all these things, this practice naturally has to be taken up by the variety of the restaurants, their size, their numbers, their practices. They have to align that in this manner. But the general guidance is, as far as practice, as far as needed, we should try to take all the safety measures before we go to the restaurant. So
Okay,
that is
definitely.
that's
These are
largely about.
pretty exhaustive guidelines out there, Mr. Srivastava, which have come from the government of India. But the responsibility lies with both the stakeholders, that is the restaurant owners as well, those who work in these establishments, and obviously the general public. Let's now bring in the industry perspective here. Mr. Katriyar is with us from the National Restaurant Association of India. Mr. Katriyar, before we go into what needs to be done, it has been a very tough time, the entire period for the restaurant industry, the lockdown period in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic. How has been the effect and how has the industry coped up so far?
So thank you, Vishal. Let me give you a little perspective about the size of our industry. The restaurant industry is worth about 4,25,000 crores. We are the second largest employers of human capital in India after agriculture. You know, with the responsibility of so many people, it has not been easy. We have been down and out for well over 2.5 months. And we have been trying, we have made various representations with the government to give us relief. Having said all that, we also understand that the only way for us to come back into the business is to restart the business. Let's not be any doubt about it. The business has to come back for us to regain some footing, but it cannot come at the expense of public health. It cannot be done at the expense of health risk to public health. So to that effect, I think the SOPs released by the union government yesterday is a very good a mix of what I call general guideline as well as steps to be taken. Most of it is something that we have already figured out and we are taking care of. We have been working on our own set of SOPs and working principles, because you have to understand, when you are dealing with so many people and lots of your cooks and hygiene players may not be the most, we have to be very careful. So, while these SOPs are very initial SOPs, and like anything else, they will require some improvement. We have already offered our services to various state governments, because I'm sure they will also add to these guidelines so that they become more practical and more acceptable to everyone. We are very, very clear that we have to protect the health interest of the consumers, but at the same time, we cannot be so impractical that running the restaurant itself becomes a pain. So we have to strike a right balance. So, for example, if there are if there are two seats facing each other's back, just a big division in between should also work, for example, even if the distance is not 6 feet. So things like this that we need to improve upon.
What are you suggesting here, Mr. Katriyar? Are you suggesting that there can be certain steps which can be taken by restaurant establishments or the restaurant owners to ensure that even if the distance is not 6 feet, it can be taken care of? But how will that happen? Is there any mechanism which certain restaurant owners or establishments would have devised so far?
Yes, we have already worked on our SOPs. We have made training videos, in fact, which we are going to share with all our members. And in fact, just after this, I'm getting into a meeting to just review that in light of the SOPs released by the government. But you have to understand that if we have to work, these are the initial guidelines only. And I'm sure everybody will agree that there is a scope for improvement. I understand DPIIT played certain role in this. I was in a conversation with DPIIT earlier this evening, and they were very gracious to tell me that do let me know if you want some improvements. So it's a step in the right direction. We can make it better. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Dr. Sanjay, your views on the guidelines as well as on the suggestions which Mr. Katriyar is pointing out in terms of, some improvement in the guidelines which can be done based on the feedback which the government would be getting from the industry?
So there are some basic principles why these guidelines, Government of India has already released some guidelines. So there are some basic principles to prevent the spread of these diseases, like some generic principle. So that's why these are important. There should be some balance. So for specific guidelines, there are like these are some generic type guidelines, specific guidelines in this, like about the menu. We don't have, although these guidelines they have said that takeaway should be encouraged in place of dining in, and definitely that should be for above 65 years and children below 10 years of age. Definitely they have to follow all these guidelines for prevention. But for menu, etc., some innovative idea like menu card, this could be a source of infection. So like online menu card, they can suggest something in a digital form. Through their mobile, they can place order. All these.
Okay, I'll come to you, Dr. Sanjay. Again, I'll come to you, but let me first bring in Mr. Srivastava here. And Mr. Srivastava, on Mr. Katriyar's point here, specifically, you know, the 50% occupancy, which the guideline says, and the 6 feet distance. Mr. Katriyar is suggesting that the industry has a different viewpoint there. Can these be relaxed, because 50% occupancy clearly is, being done to try and ensure that the social distancing norms are adhered, because restaurants, mostly, not all of them are that big.
I think I appreciate Dr. Sanjay's version of the flexibility being attached to these type of SOPs. And when we say from the central government side that it is an advisory, we say it because we know very well that health is a state subject, as well as the restaurant card coming under the state domain. So we anticipate state to apply enough flexibilities, and these flexibilities should keep two things in mind. First is, we know that the number of cases are still rising. Therefore, opening up these type of restaurants should not ultimately lead to a scale which is going to overwhelm the public health system. So that is the first thing. The first thing is not undermine the relevance of the opening up of the restaurant sector. A restaurant will only survive when it earns out of the business. And it earns because of volume, and the volumes come in two forms. The number of persons coming there, sitting there, eating there, and number of persons booking their food being served to their home. Now, in doing so, two things has been pointed out by my previous speaker, and these are very relevant. Maintenance of 6 feet distance. That is one point, and 50% capacity, that is another point. The third point was raised by doctor about the menu card. Now, all these things do have innovative solutions which can be worked out by mutual discussion between the state government as well as the industry owner. Now, in these type of discussions, there are certain guiding principles which cannot be sacrificed. The first guiding principle is that we cough and we transmit. You cannot compromise with the mask. Now, the second guiding principle is the distance. The virus is available up to such and such distance. So we have adopted a social distancing type of practice. If this practice can be safely implemented by creating certain type of partition, barriers and other things as has been suggested, then all these partition barriers which are being created are another surface which we are creating in a restaurant. And this another surface is definitely going to cost additionally more to them, and more sanitization effort and preventive measures need to be taken. Similarly,
Okay.
about the menu, if they try to change about the menu also, then the changing of the menu depends upon the type of customer they are dealing with. Now, wherever possible, whatever possible, a customer industry friendly and without sacrificing the health principle, that type of flexibility is inbuilt in the SOP, and such type of suggestions, interactions will definitely make it more useful for industry and health friendly for the general consumer.
Okay. Okay. And as Mr. Srivastava is pointing out, the overarching guiding principle here is to ensure the protection of the health of not only the customers or those who are coming to the restaurant for takeaway or even sit there and have their food, but also the employees of that particular restaurant or that particular establishment. Mr. Katriyar, in terms of innovativeness, and as Dr. Sanjay pointed out, and Mr. Srivastava is also saying, the industry will have to think of innovative ways to overcome these challenges. Maybe as the guidelines suggest, disposable menu, maybe an online menu, or different ways to go ahead and ensure that the social distancing norms or the physical distancing norms are adhered to. So what is it that the industry is doing in terms of thinking unique, novel ways to overcome these challenges?
So I think both the gentlemen, Dr. Srivastav and the other gentleman, made very valid points. Just to let everybody and all your viewers know, we have already adapted to a digital menu where all a consumer needs is his phone with a camera, and his menu can be scanned on his phone. He doesn't need to get an app. He can place the orders from there. He can even do his bill settlement there without touching an EDC machine. We totally understand that we have to reduce the human touch with various surfaces as much as possible. And we have already made lots of progress in that. Some people are calling it erroneously a contactless dining, but the real word is it's digital ordering and bill settlement. We are already doing that. We also are, like, he pointed about, we are creating more surface and we need to sanitize more surface. I guess that's something we have to accept with an air of inevitability, that till such time that an antidote or a vaccine is found, every restaurant will have to keep indulging in that. Little more surface for little more seats is a good bargain to have. But yes, the underlying principle that we share with both the respectable doctors is the health of my consumers, my employees is most paramount, and we are committed to protecting that.
Okay, and the focus has to be on the takeaways as well, because that is one way in which the contact can be minimized as much as possible.
Unfortunately, that's not the reality of the trade. Dining out is about experience as well. It's not only about consuming food. You can do that over home delivery. Secondly, whatever you do, let me give you some data. Home delivery constitutes all of 12% of the F&B trade in India, food and beverage trade in India. Now, that can at best be an augmentation to your restaurant business. That can never become the mainstream, unfortunately. That's the fact. A restaurant cannot be replaced by a delivery-only outlet. That will shrink the size of the business to some unimaginable level. So I think the better way is to figure out the control and the security mechanisms within the restaurant to promote what I call safe dining. We want our consumers to come back to our restaurant feeling that they are entering the same place, but having the confidence that the place is health-wise very secured for me. That's how I look at the whole thing. Unfortunately, takeaway and deliveries can never replace the restaurant business.
Okay, definitely it can't replace, but then these are challenging times and different times, and tough times. And as you're pointing out, we'll have to think of innovative ways. Let me bring in Dr. Sanjay again before we close the show. Dr. Sanjay, from the consumer's point of view, from the general public point of view, what would you suggest to somebody who now from 8th of June onwards would want to go ahead and experience or have that, in-dine experience in restaurants?
Definitely, as I said earlier, they should follow few basic principles to protect themselves, protect their family and the entire community. So behave like a responsible citizen. Responsible citizen means for this COVID control that every time we wear these glasses, maintain social distancing, norm, etc. All this. So behaving like a responsible citizen is most important for COVID control measures. So this one is the one message. Second, if possible, this takeaway business, okay, we had data that only 12% takeaway business, but that can be increased. So they should prefer this one, not to sit there, not to create crowd over there. So, and one thing is important. See, as we know, we have to live with this virus for a very long time. We don't know for how many years, right? So they have to adopt all these in just like any routine activities. If not necessary, don't go out if not required. Try to keep yourself at your place. So these are the few important measures they have to follow in their life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Concluding comments from you, Dr. Srivastava?
I think it is quite an educative thing for me to hear the expert from the trade side who are running the business of restaurant. And I could appreciate their difficulty. But at the end of the day, let us realize few things. We are still in the midst of COVID, which is increasing in India. And our core target should not be anything other than containing and controlling it. The second thing is that business is opening up, and business should open in a manner which is friendly to the industry so that they invest and earn out of it. They invest and do not lose out of it. The third thing which is important is consumer is very well informed about the measures which are to be maintained by him so that he does not get infected and he does not infect others.
Okay.
So let us reinforce this education in relation to the restaurant and dining out is concerned, and let this task be taken up by the industry sector. If they can take up this task of educating their consumer that these are the things they are doing and these are the things which are to be done by the consumer, then a type of critical balance of health precaution as well as the income generation for the industry may come. And lastly, that we should remember that we have got 24 months at our disposal, which is the optimum time during which this particular COVID-19 will ultimately stabilize. From January, 24 months. So maybe like this, that initially when we are unlocking, the industry may not have that type of earning. They may have to come to term with stabilizing, re-entering, reaching to a break-even, and then started earning. So that type of cushion should be provided in the business model of the industry, so that they can sail through this hard time. These are the. This is the only message which I want to do.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Srivastava out there, Dr. Sanjay and Mr. Khatri also for sharing your views on this. Clearly, as our panelists are pointing out, this is a very difficult time and a different one as well, wherein we will have to think in innovative ways to try and tackle the challenges which are being thrown at us by the COVID-19 pandemic. And the guiding principle here, while reopening restaurants for the general public, is to ensure the safety of health of not only consumers, but also those who work in the restaurant industry. And both these stakeholders will have to work as a team to find answers, solutions to all these challenges. It is indeed a tough task, but presumably we will overcome if we adhere to the basic guidelines, basic health norms of social distancing and also wearing a mask, not touching many surfaces or restricting touching the surfaces so that the contamination does not spread freely. Thank you so much for watching Rajya Sabha Television. We'll come back again tomorrow with a different topic. Till then, you keep watching RSTV.